I have been trading profitably for 2 years, and I've only been able to trade profitably because I understand the concept of daily bias. Understanding what daily bias is, how it works, and how I can find it myself has allowed me to take much higher quality trades that win me more money and lose less often. And in this video, I will teach you exactly how you can find daily bias every single day without fail on the chart. If you want proof that I trade profitably, if we go over to my Discord server, link in the description, I post every trade I've ever taken live as it happens. I have funding certificates, proof I've passed accounts, and this goes back for years and years and years. So if you want proof, link in the description and you can join this yourself. So here we are on the chart, we are on the daily chart, and we are on gold because I trade gold and Euro USD. So let's just get rid of all the drawings and understand how we can find daily bias. So first of all, what is daily bias? Well, daily bias is simply our bias where we think price is going to move in the day. So where we feel price is going to go to in a day. Now, how do we understand this? Where do we get this feeling from? How do we understand the feeling of where price is going to go? Well, this is done off technical analysis. So we need to analyze the charts on the daily time frame and see what we think. We need to understand what is happening, where has price been in the past, and where do we think price is going to go in the future. Because let's say price could be moving in an uptrend on the daily, and if price is moving an uptrend on the daily, we probably should also be trying to follow that trend. Now, it doesn't mean we should just be going for longs, because also a trend has these pullbacks. It just means we need to trade based off where we are in the trend. So if let's say we're at this area, we want to be looking for buys. If we're at this area, we want to be looking for sells. And this is just basically some of the things you can do to understand where we think price is going to go. So that's a very quick example on daily bias. And now we understand what it is, let's try and understand what we can how we can use this. So here we are on gold on the daily time frame, and if we zoom out, the first thing we can see, we are obviously in an uptrend. Price has been going up over time. Now, what does this mean? Doesn't mean that much just yet, because it doesn't mean that we should just be going for longs because we're in an uptrend, but we should keep it in mind that we're in an uptrend, because if we're in an area where price has pulled back or so, let's say price pulled back into this area, we'd probably be looking to go long again, unless we broke structure and we think price is going to start going down again, then we'd think about it that way. But zoom out, we're in an uptrend, so we'll keep that in mind for now. Okay, the next thing to do is zoom left and look for major areas of support and resistance, and also major areas of liquidity. Now, if you don't know what support and resistance are, I've made guides on that on my channel, and I've also made guides on liquidity. But as you see, there's nothing to the left on gold. That's because we are at all-time high, and this is the highest price has ever been. So what we need to do is we need to zoom in and try and find areas like that ourselves. Well, as you can see, we have this high point up here. What I like to do is I like to try and find where price is right at this area, and I like to draw lines above and lines below, and these lines indicate areas of liquidity but also areas of support and resistance where price could get to and bounce off of from. So this is a high up here that is above price, and also we have this kind of area of resistance in this area as well, which will be useful to mark out. So we have this area of resistance up here, and as you can see, price has broken out of this resistance zone in this candle here. So when price breaks out of a zone, what can it do? Well, it can either keep going up and up and up as it broke out of, or we usually can get a break and retest into the area it just broke out from. So once again, we have spotted a resistance area and we have spotted a breakout. So we can also keep that in mind. But we need to keep going to draw everything on our chart, and then we can come to a final decision. So what else do we have? Well, here we have an order block on price. So this could be an area price might want to get to. We also have an order block down here as well, which has been significant. We also have some fair value gaps and this order block here, but we also have this major area of support down here. So all these things can signal where price can get to and then bounce off. And price can bounce off of any of these zones here because they're all things that pushes price up. Also, we do have liquidity under this low, this low down here, sorry. We also have resting liquidity under this low and resting liquidity under this low. So all these black lines are also areas where price can come down, sweep these lows, and then bounce back up. So what have we established so far? We've established we're in a long-term uptrend. We are nearly at all-time high. And if you ever trade gold, you know that once price gets to all-time high, price usually just likes to push straight up past it and completely just continue going up for ages and then have quite a sharp pullback. So once again, we'll keep that in mind. What price can also do is get to all-time high, sweep the resting liquidity above all-time high, and then tank again. And now, what do I think with my experience of trading gold? I see that we've just broken out of this resistance area. And when price breaks out of an area, price usually likes to come back and retest out of the area it just broke out from. So let me get rid of all these blue boxes and these black lines. I'll keep the black lines, but the blue boxes so we can see a bit clear. What I think is going to happen is I think now that we've broken out of this resistance zone, because we were consolidating for weeks and weeks and weeks, this was literally 150 days of consolidation where price has been really unsure. We've just moved sideways, but now we're finally starting to see some character in the market. We've stopped consolidating and we could be continuing this long-term daily trend. So I think price is going to go up. Why? We're in a daily trend. And we've just broken out of a major area of resistance, which I think is going to push price higher. Now, do I think we need to go for buys straight away? Like, do I just spam the buy button because I think we're going to go up? No, I have to think about what price is going to do now in the next day. Or let's say I'm recording this quite late at night, what do I think price is going to do tomorrow? Because I trade within 30 minutes. Like my trades are out between 30 minutes and an hour. So it doesn't really matter what's going to happen in the next 7 days. I want to be figuring out what I think is going to happen right now or tomorrow. So do I think price is going to go all the way up here tomorrow? No, I don't. I think that's very unrealistic. What I think price is going to do, now that we've broken out of this resistance zone, I think price is going to continue tomorrow. We're going to push up past this all-time high. We're going to hit all-time high. We're then going to have a liquidity sweep. We're going to sweep the liquidity above all-time high, and we're going to pull back. Now, I think we're going to do this because I think we're currently in an uptrend, and now we've had a bit of consolidation. I think what we're going to do is now that we've broken out of this area, we're going to form a breakout, and then we're going to retest into this area of the breakout, and then push back up and continue this uptrend. So I think price is going to, we've come up, we've created this consolidation, we're going to break out of it, then we're going to come back and retest somewhere in this area before pushing back up and continuing the uptrend. So what I think is going to happen is I think we're going to push up into all-time high, sweep the liquidity, and then come back down and retest in this area. Now, where do I think we're going to retest into this area? That is not that important today, but it will be important maybe the next week or 2 weeks when price does actually carry this out, or if it does, because I'm recording this live. It might not. Price might tank all the way down to all-time low. It might even go up all the way up there. We don't know. That's why it's called a bias. But I think tomorrow, what price is going to do is price is going to push up to this high and maybe close there for the day, or at least wick above this high and then come back down. Or maybe the next week we'll push up to this high and then come back down. But I think, or where do I think price is going to retest off in this area? Well, there are fair value gaps, there are order blocks, there's a lot of areas of liquidity, so it's quite unsure. But I think price will come up to this area, come back down, sweep all this liquidity down here, come back, and then form new bullish structure and go up. That is my prediction for gold. But we don't know. We just have to guess. That's why it's called a bias. But for tomorrow, let's say I'm going to trade tomorrow. What is my bias going to be for tomorrow? Well, I think we are going to be going up from today. So let's say that if the candlestick tomorrow morning when I wake up is just, let's say, this small blue box like here, okay, I think we're going to be looking for a buy just to get up to this area. But if I wake up and price is already at this area, I will definitely be only looking for sells because I think we're above this area of liquidity and I think we're going to go down. So if I wake up tomorrow and this candlestick's up here, I'm going to be looking for a sell. Why? Because I know we're going to be at all-time high, break all-time high, sweep the liquidity above all-time high, and I think once we sweep the liquidity, we're going to be going down. So once price gets up to this area, I will be looking for a sell. And that is basically how I figure out my bias on gold. And just after this, I will go into EURUSD and I will show you exactly, again, my analysis for that, so we can get more of an in-depth thinking into why I think this way. But all my analysis is, draw these areas of liquidity and think which area of liquidity is price going to go to next. Also, are there areas like support and resistance price is near to? Have we broken out of any? Have we respected any? Because let's say I was looking at price from here, so forget all of this ever existed, and I drew this support, this resistance area up here, and I was looking at this candle up here. I thought, okay, this candle is now in the resistance zone. This resistance zone is a previously respected zone. I'm going to be looking for sells. If I saw price in this area, I'd only be looking for sells. And would that work? Well, that would work once, twice, 3 times, and then yesterday it wouldn't have worked. We would have pushed straight past it today. But my bias would have been right 3 times here and the wrong once, which means I'm winning 3 to every time I lose 1, which is a very good win ratio. So it's these sort of things, trying to understand where price is and where it is long term and try to incorporate that into your trading. Okay, moving on to EURUSD, I will remove my drawings and we can do the same thing. So the first thing I do is I zoom out and I see are there any areas previously where there's liquidity. Well, this is all the way back in 2021, quite far back, so I don't really look at things do that. I just kind of look at the past year. What are we doing in the past year? Well, like gold, the past year, we have been moving in an uptrend. You see we're creating higher highs and lower lows, higher highs and higher lows, sorry. So once again, that's something to keep in mind for the overall trend. Now let's zoom in closer to price and let's see what's happening. Well, I see price is at this area here. We have resting liquidity above that high, resting liquidity above this high, and also resting liquidity above that high. And then we have resting liquidity below this low down here, and also below this low down there. So these are all areas price could get to, and where do I think price is going to go? Well, what are we doing right now? We are currently consolidating. As you see, we are moving sideways. Do we have a clear area of resistance? Well, yes, we do. This is a clear area of resistance. So we've created a high up here, bounced off it, came up back here into this zone, once again bounced off it, and now price is coming back into this zone. And as you see, this wick, this candle has wicked off of this zone during the day. You see this long wick. We've created a hammer candle, which does show rejection of this resistance level. So straight away, this is shouting at me to sell. I think we're going to go down tomorrow. So tomorrow, I'll probably only be looking for sells because price is at a resistance area and we have just wicked off of it and we look like we're going to respect this resistance area. Also, we do have areas of liquidity to the downside, and I do think we're currently at a high of the uptrend. We actually did come back down off this high, sweep the liquidity under this low and come back up. But I think there is lots of resting liquidity under this area. And also we have a very big fair value gap right here on the daily, which I think price could be looking to get into, because if we get into this fair value gap, we also sweep both of these resting liquidity and then get a fair value gap retest. And I think that is exactly what price needs to do to support the bullish move up to continue the overall trend. So it's a lot of small things like this, confluences you can kind of use in harmony together to figure things out. But I think price is going to go down tomorrow. So when I trade tomorrow, EURUSD, I will only be looking for sells because my daily bias shows I'm at a resistance level and I'm respecting it. What I think price is going to do in the long term, maybe in the next few weeks, I think we're going to come down, sweep this liquidity, come down even more, sweep this liquidity, retest into this fair value gap. And then once we do that, we're going to be looking to go up, break this high and continue the uptrend. But like I think on gold, I think we're both going to go down on gold, down in EURUSD, retest into it, and then continue their uptrends in the long term. So that is my analysis to find daily bias. I've done an example on EURUSD and gold, and I really, really hope you guys have learned exactly how I do this. I basically just I have a bunch of like an armory of all my trading tools and all the confluences I use to trade profitably, and you can kind of use them in harmony together. And even though they might not be made for each other, like trading support and resistance and then fair value gaps, they're quite different. You can still use this in harmony. It's just about looking at the charts and using your intuition to figure it out. So if you guys need to learn anything based on liquidity or support resistance or order flow or anything like that, once again, go to my channel. I leave full guides on all of those, which you can watch for yourself to understand it. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoy this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.